Hello, my name is Meeta Patel. I live in D181 and D86. I'd like to thank the board for their service to the community. As a brown woman living in Hinsdale and having served on the D181 board, I strongly support diversity, equity, and inclusion work. I believe it's critically needed in District 86 and across America. However, you need the right person to lead the charge on this work of understanding the history of this district, the history of this country, biases, and the impact on students and people from all walks of life. Unfortunately, that person is not Ms. Tammy Prentice for reasons that go far beyond the important issue of DEI. I have stood before this board for 3 years, and I have shared concerns about how decisions are being made in District 86 by Ms. Prentice and her administration regarding the most important work of District 86, education, ranging from math and science curriculum decisions, instructional practices, current grading practices, the lack of transparent pilots, the lack of transparent resource decisions, and generally the lack of process data-driven decision-making, transparency, and accountability by the administration. These failures have led the board to fend for itself to understand the impacts of these decisions on students. Unfortunately, I have also seen the disengagement of several board members for several years, leading to a rubber stamping of administrative decisions that have had and will continue to have a long-lasting effect on students. Tonight on the agenda, for example, is the discussion of grading practices. A major change has slipped into the school year in a disingenuous fashion without any public notification to students, staff, parents, or board under the guise of alignment. Today, unfortunately, the data was presented in the manner which we have seen in the past. Broad sweeping statements stating that student grades are not harmed by changes, category weights in the gradebook have little impact on final semester grades. Where a presentation focuses on the total number of A's versus F's, unfortunately the data does not seem to clearly bear that out. Furthermore, the data did not differentiate between the performance in both schools with the same classes that have different grading practices. An example is when you drill down on 90-10 and 100-0 practices. When you look at the higher performance on formative work, one does not see that it leads to higher summative performance and higher overall grades. We do not see a survey of students to understand the impact of these grading practices. Not just 90-10, 100-0, but the M and ME practice for missing work at 50% grade. We don't understand how this affects student motivation to do the critical formative work that is the foundation of learning. An academic committee does not exist. Unfortunately, the leadership of the board and the board majority has shut down the opportunity for the board to engage in healthy back and forth respectful discussion, ask needed questions, and get those answers. I ask this board and its leadership to please take stock of what's happening and make the right decisions for this district, which would include a national search for a new